Hey guys, it's Gawain, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of the best crowd control trap operators in the game, Melusi. Melusi is a 1-speed 3-armor defense operator that specializes in crowd control and fragging. Melusi has decent guns, decent secondary gadgets, and a good primary gadget when positioned correctly. Good Melusi players will use their gadgets to gather intel and slow the enemy's movement to pick up easy kills. Let's learn how to play her. Melusi is equipped with her triangle-based pyramids, of which she gets 3. These pyramids are a bulletproof device until activated. They have a 4-meter radius, so when an attacker walks into the radius with line of sight onto the pyramid, the center will open. This exposes the center that emits a low-frequency noise that slows the attackers down. It takes a total of 2 seconds for the center of the pyramid to open fully and slow the attackers in the radius. The closer an attacker gets to the center of the Banshee, the slower they will get. For the first 2 meters, they will be slowed to 75% of their base movement speed, and at the last 2 meters, they will be slowed to 50% of their base movement speed. Spoilers for the counters section, but this is an important thing to think about when placing your Banshees. The exposed center can be shot to destroy the pyramid entirely. Because of this, attackers will want to activate your 808 subwoofers and shoot them out so they don't have to deal with them anymore. You want to be smart with your positioning of this gadget, so attackers have to adjust their crosshair placement away from where you want to swing from, as well as making sure they can't shoot it out without exposing themselves to you. The easiest way to do this is placing your pyramids low down on walls next to doorways into sight. This way attackers will have to walk into the objective room, make a sound cue alerting the defenders of their position, turn around, look down a bit, then shoot the Banshee. All of this gives a massive window of opportunity for you or a teammate to swing on that attacker and pick them off. Just be careful of the attackers still facing outwards into sight and tanking the slow effect, as they may expect you to swing on them due to the sound cue. Other decent spots to put your pyramids include next to main breaches to slow down site executes, and on objectives that allow you to span a full circle with a 4-meter radius, such as the map in Aviation on Villa. Feel free to hide your Banshees in corners or behind objects or plants outside of sight so the attackers don't see it on approach but still get affected by the slow and have to look around to find out where the sound is coming from. You can get relatively creative with your placements, like how one of my regular Twitch viewers places a Banshee on the inside of Freezer on Cafe to go through the drone hole to slow attackers going down the corridor so you can swing from Christmas or Bar. Attackers also can't shoot out the Banshee due to the soft spot being on top rather than on the side. To summarize this segment, use your triangle-based pyramids to slow attackers by up to 50% and emit a low frequency noise for you to react to. Place your pyramids in spots where they cannot be shot out without the attackers that are walking into them exposing themselves to being shot. Just bear in mind the lights on the 3 corners when hiding them, as they can make the gadget slightly more obvious, but other than that it tends to blend into foliage quite well. Melusi's primary weapon options are the MP5 submachine gun and the Super 90 shotgun. Her secondary weapon is the RG15, as there are no other options available. I personally run the MP5 paired with the RG15, of course. The MP5 is an SMG that's probably on the low end of average in comparison to others in its category, but this doesn't mean it's bad. The fire rate is probably the best thing about it for Melusi, so it's quite easy to get headshots with this gun, but the damage can be lacking at times, so you may want to run the extended barrel for a little extra. You only have access to 1-time scopes on Melusi, which isn't necessarily a problem, but it does make her gun weaker than other trap operators' weapons like Legion or Thorns. The recoil is very low, if not minimal, on this gun, which is also very good, but I still use the vertical grip and the flash hider to make this thing an absolute laser beam. As for the Super 90, it's not an inherently bad shotgun, it's just not a great one either. I definitely didn't struggle to get kills with this gun because of the decent damage and fire rate on it. I just don't know how well it suits Melusi's kit when her Banshees are spread out. Whilst you can swing close enemies caught in your trap's effects with ease, you can do it with the MP5 too. The MP5 just gives you so much more range than the Super 90, but it is down to you which one you prefer to use. The RG15 is a good pistol, it's got a good damage stat, a typical semi-automatic fire rate for a pistol, and a red dot optic built in, making it great for if you need to swap to it in a pinch. In terms of secondary gadgets, Melusi gets access to 1 bulletproof camera or 2 impact grenades. Both of these suit Melusi, and I have used both thoroughly with her, and my recommendation is to go with whatever the team needs, but try to run the bulletproof camera when you can. This gadget not only provides an extra camera feed for more intel, an EMP burst for intel denial, thermal vision for plant denial, and some gadget denial, but it also acts as another piece of bulletproof utility. If you run this camera, you will be bringing 4 pieces of bulletproof utility the attackers have to get rid of in order to push side safely, so do with that what you will, just know it is very strong, especially if you have other utility to burn gadgets or soak up utility like a Jaeger or a Zami. As for the impact grenades, they are useful for making rotate holes, destroying OSA shields, or finishing off low HP targets. All of these are great uses and you can do a lot with impact grenades. I just find that I use my bulletproof camera more and it does more for the team over the course of the round. That being said, bring impacts if nobody else can make a rotate hole without wasting a C4 because you don't want to be stuck in a site that you can't rotate out of or through. To start the preparation phase, you want to place down a Banshee at the closest entrance into sight to where you spawn and make your way around to the other entrances to place them there too. Place down your bulletproof camera when making your way through sight and go reinforce some walls. Finally, get on cams to see where the enemy spawns and communicate that back to the team once the action phase begins. To begin the action phase, cycle through cams and position yourself on the entrance to site the attackers are most likely to come from in relation to where they spawned. Use your bulletproof camera to EMP blast and disable any drones that come into sight so you can shoot them and deny the intel for the attackers. Listen out for any of your Banshees activating as they make a distinct click noise when activated, even if it's for half a second. Swing on an enemy caught in the radius of your slows and get some picks. The sound cue the Banshee makes is especially useful when doing a slightly extended hold on an area around site, like how I hold 90 corridor on Villa outside of the games room. Your pyramids will prevent you and your team from being snuck up on, so use that intel to your advantage. Feel free to be aggressive because your gadgets will still work and benefit the team even if you are dead, so don't be afraid to take gunfights with a reliable MP5. Melusi has a few counters: Brava, EMPs, any explosives, melee attacks, and bullets when opened. Brava can hack your subwoofers, making them work against you rather than for you. You can utilize your bulletproof camera to stop the clutch drone dead in its tracks and shoot it out before the hack is complete. EMP grenades will temporarily disable your Banshees, making it very easy for the attackers to get close and destroy it. The only thing you can do about this is kill the attacker before they get to the pyramid. Explosives will destroy your Banshees regardless of if it's open or not, so the best thing you can do is hide your pyramid so the attackers can't see them until they're already caught in your trap. Melee attacks will also destroy your Banshees regardless of what state they are in, which makes EMPs such an effective counter. To prevent this, shoot the person trying to stab your triangle-based pyramid. As aforementioned, bullets will destroy your gadgets when they are activated, so swing the enemy when they get caught in your trap to hopefully kill them before they can kill your trap. Position your Banshees in places where enemies have to expose themselves to activate and shoot out of the center, giving you chance to swing and kill them. Use the MP5 for a reliable SMG with minimal recoil and a good enough fire rate to land you consistent headshots. Utilize your Banshees for a slightly extended hold. Whilst you are really an anchor because of your speed, you can still lock down an area away from sight with your traps to watch your flanks. Use the bulletproof camera to deny intel and gadgets that come into sight and can be disabled by EMPs. Adapt to your team and their playstyle. Bring impacts if nobody brings a shotgun. Hold an area away from sight if everyone camps on it. Anchor as best as you can when your team is filled with kill-hungry lunatics. Overall, Melusi is a pretty easy operator to play in my opinion. Her gadget placement is the most technical thing about her gadget. Her guns are easy to use and her secondary gadgets are quite simple. Learn where to place your gadgets to get the most value out of them. Learn when to swing on your opponents. Learn how to utilize your bulletproof camera effectively, and you are sure to become a pretty decent Melusi player. Thank you all for watching, I do hope you enjoyed. If you found this guide helpful in any way, shape or form, please do consider subscribing and sharing it with your friends as it does help grow the channel, which is very much appreciated. As always, all of the clips you saw in this video were taken from my Twitch stream, link will be on screen and in the description. Yana is next for the Siege series, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.
Throw an impact.
Good call.
Pokeball, that's with the crotch. Oh my god. There indeed is my impact clip, Tom. Oh my god.